my name's Katie, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book tag for you and it is the Beauty and the Beast book tag. My friend on Facebook heard about this one, so she sent me all the questions because she thinks it would be a fun one for me to do because I love Beauty and the Beast. So I'm just going to start straight away. So the first question of the tag is, well, not questions, like statements, is "Oh, what a guy. A villain you can't help but love." I've spoke about him before, but Sebastian Verlaque from the Mortal Instruments series, even if he's a villain, well, I don't know, he is a villain. He's kind of like in between. He's a villain, but he has his good points. He's redeemable. He's likable. But I love Sebastian Verlaque in the Mortal Instruments. He's such a good baddie. One of the best baddies I've read about. Really rooting for him, and won't give any spoilers. But as it goes on, and you learn more and more about him, it just breaks your heart. So yeah, he's a villain. But yeah, love Sebastian. The second one is, here's where she meets Prince Charming, your OTP, one true pairing. And normally I do agree with authors' choices for like who people are with and who the love interests are. And this one's quite hard because most pairings I do really like, but again, you don't want to be spoiled from the Mortal Instruments. I've got to hold my hand up, so when I put my hand back down, that's when I've stopped talking about it. So mute the video now. But in the Mortal Instruments series, Simon, everybody knows who's read it. Simon ends up with Isabel. But he's with Maya for a while. Maya, who's the werewolf, who's part of Luke's pack. And I really love him and Maya together as much as I love Isabel. I really wish Simon and Maya would have ended up together properly, like for however long, for the foreseeable future. They are together for a while, but not that long. So they are my OTP. Them two, Simon and Maya, should be together, even though I love Isabel. So that's my OTP. Number 3. I want much more than this provincial life. A character that's destined for greater things. And again, spoilers for the Hunger Games. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, wait until I put my hand back down and mute the video. Finnick Odair from the Hunger Games. I've read the series about 6 times, the trilogy about 6 times, and it always gets to the same point that I know what's coming and I cry my eyes out because in the 3rd book, Finnick dies. And of everything that he's gone through, he's basically sold. He's owned by the capital in the Hunger Games and sold to people for sex and for all sorts of different things, basically to be used however they see fit. And he gets free from that. He's with the love of his life, Annie. She's pregnant. They get married, and then he's killed. So that breaks my heart. Finnick's one of my favourite characters. I wish he didn't have to die, and he was just getting things on track. He was happy. So he deserved more. He was destined for like great things because he was so lovely despite everything that happened to him. He was such a lovely person. So Finnick. Number 4, Be Our Guest, a book that made you hungry. And again, this is the Hunger Games, especially in the first one, because Peter Malark is known as the boy with the bread. And he works in a bakery. And they always talk about bread and all sorts of things to do with that, cakes and things. So whenever I read the Hunger Games, for some reason, I always just want to eat some bread with some butter on. And every time I read the Hunger Games, I'll go and get a few slices of bread with butter and just eat them while I'm reading the Hunger Games. Every single time I read it, always makes me just want to eat bread. So it always makes me hungry without fail every single time I've read it. Okay, the 5th one is Beauty and the Beast, Opposites Attract. Kind of saying the same answer as my friend for this one, but this is from Throne of Glass, and this is Aelin and Rowan. While he's very structured and very stern and very set on what he's to do, he's always got a plan for anything. She's very kind of like spur of the moment kind of person. She'll just do things on a whim without telling him, which really angers him a lot. They get on, they're like best friends, as close as you can be, really. As close than a brother and a sister, really. And yeah, he is really structured, very stern, very driven, knows exactly what he's doing and when he needs to do it. And she's just like, well, I'll wake up and see what happens. I'll do this on this day, and if not, I'll just do it another time. Which causes arguments, but they get on really well despite that. Number 6, but there's something in him that I simply didn't see. A character that's more than they appear. Simon Lewis from Mortal Instruments. I know a lot of my answers are from Mortal Instruments, but I love the series. So Simon. Because on the outside, he's kind of sarcastic and nerdy and a bit jealous and things, understandably. If you read the books or you watch Shadowhunters, you'll know what I mean, understandably. But there's so much more to him than people see. He's so much more empathetic and compassionate and understanding and just a lot. I mean, the way he deals with things, his defense mechanism is sarcasm. But underneath that, he's so sweet and so lovely and so thoughtful and selfless, puts everyone before him. You don't always see that. And when you do see it, I feel like it's not appreciated, especially by Clary, considering they're best friends. She's known him her whole life, so she knows what he's like, but she starts to take that for granted. So there's a lot more, the same as Jace, really. There's a lot more to Jace than what there seems underneath. I still don't really like him that much, but there's more to him than seems. I mean, he's arrogant and he's self-obsessed. But underneath that, there's a lot more, just as nice to show it. Number 7. I was innocent and certain, now I'm wiser but unsure. A book that changed you in some way. And I'm going to have to go with the Shade series by Jerry Smith Reddy. Well, it's a trilogy. I hadn't read for about 4 or 5 years, and I found her book in the library. For the second one of the series. I didn't know it was the second one, so I read it and absolutely loved it. So I bought the first one. I bought the whole series again off Amazon, and then read the first one, third one, in a really weird order. But it got me back into reading, so it changed my life, really. I read when I was a kid. I read for about 10 years, 10, 11 years, and then from when I was about 12 to about 15, 16, I didn't really read much. I'd read like a couple of books a year. My nan used to give me some books, so I read a few books. But her trilogy really did get me back into reading, and now I'm obsessed with reading even more so than when I was a child. So her whole Shade trilogy changed my life, really, rekindled my love for reading. So for that reason, the books are amazing anyway, but she will always be one of my favourite authors because of that. I owe her that, really. Number 8, Kill the Beast, a book you picked up because of hype. Throne of Glass. I know it's been out for a while, but I can't remember if it was last year or the year before that I read it. I think it was last year. No, the year before. I'm not too sure, I can't remember, sorry. But because of all the hype that was going on, because I'd recently joined the book group that I'm in and had friends who were talking about it, I picked it up and I didn't like it. I didn't like the first one, mainly because of Selena, and that's bad considering she's the main character. Found it really, really slow. I've just finished Queen of Shadows a few days ago. Finally finished Queen of Shadows. Have talked about it in other videos before that I needed to get on with it, and I don't know why I put it off for so long. It was so good. With all of her books though, I think that's what it was, Throne of Glass, because I knew what it was about, kind of. But they start off really, really, really slow. Well, the first one did. And constantly just builds up and builds up and builds up all the way through the book, builds up all this tension. I know all the shit's gonna go down, basically. And then the last like quarter of the book, everything's in a rush and everything's happening at once, and that's what happened with Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows, which is what I prefer. But Throne of Glass, I felt like it was just kind of a bit all on the same level. Nothing really kind of progressed much. Queen of Shadows made me cry as well, and I don't cry much with books. I never thought I'd cry with Sarah J Maas, but Queen of Shadows did. But Throne of Glass, I picked it up because everyone was talking about it and I didn't like it, so I'm not doing that again. I'm not picking it up just because everyone else is talking about a book. Number 9, I'll Never Shake Away the Pain, a book or moment that always makes you cry. Well, there's a few, again, spoilers, I'll put my hand up. Finnick in Hunger Games when he dies. I know it's coming. Every single time I'll sit and I'll cry. And when Rue dies. When Rue dies, I cry. I know a lot of characters do die, but Finnick really, really hits me when he dies. Hedwig in Harry Potter when she's killed as well. I've read the books and she dies, makes me cry. When the movie's on, I have to either mute the TV or not look or anything when she's struck with the curse and she dies, because I always cry. Fault in Our Stars, I've read it once and I attempted to, read it once quite a few years ago. Attempted to read it again. Yeah, attempted to read The Fault in Our Stars again. I read it once a few years ago, yeah. And I got about halfway through and I couldn't do it because I knew what was going to be happening, knew it was coming, so I couldn't put myself through that again. So yeah, The Hunger Games, particularly Mockingjay, will always make me cry. And I can't read The Fault in Our Stars because it's just kind of scarred me and just really makes me cry every time I even think about it. So yeah, guys, that's it for this Beauty and the Beast book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave some comments and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you very soon with another one.